Hey everyone, Noctra here and welcome to PC Building Simulator. Now this is a game that I picked off the Epic Games Store quite a while back. I think it was last year somewhere, early last year. And if you're wondering why it's such a random game and a random video out of nowhere, it's pretty self-explanatory that I like building computers. I already have a decent, not the best, but a decent amount of knowledge in IT, specifically building computers and their parts and everything. I mean, if you want, you could just watch my video where I upgraded my PC, and I think I did a pretty good job explaining how everything worked, and hopefully nothing cringeworthy. But today we will be playing this game because it kind of scratches that itch, that itch when say, hey, you just look at your PC and then just think, what if I just replace, for example, my 3080 with a 3090, and will it actually fit, something like that. I mean, this game is not an accurate representation of how it works in real life, but it gives me that sense of, how do I put this, like when you want to build something but you don't have the money and you don't want to spend any money on it, but you can do it virtually for free. That kind of itch, yeah, it scratches it pretty well. So yeah, that's enough explanation as to why I'm playing this today. But today, most importantly, we are building the cheapest and the most stable PC that we can possibly build in this game. And in a second, I'll explain to you why it's not as simple as choosing the cheapest options and then just plopping them into one cheap case and everything. Yeah, there's little caveats and little asterisk signs everywhere as to how you want to build this PC. So as we go along, I'll explain why, but goal for today, just keep in mind, we are trying to build the cheapest PC ever, and it has to be 100% stable in well, I mean, it's not going to do well in benchmarks, but it has to do well. It has to be completely stable in benchmarks, no issues whatsoever. So I've been playing this off camera alone, and honestly, this game is pretty fun. When you got really nothing better to do, you just fire up this game, build a PC, and that's pretty much it. So free build, new game, override, and I'm gonna pick one of these workshops here. This looks nice. It's like a little garage, so let's go with this. And yeah, like I said, if you want to watch my previous video on me upgrading my PC and everything, the link will be in the description below, and I think from there you can tell I already know, like, roughly how the computers work and everything, although I don't go into detail explaining anything, but I do have a rough idea of how PCs work. And I'm studying in an IT line right now, to be honest, just a matter of fact. But here we are, and this is a very nice place. And first off, we're just gonna take this case and then put it somewhere else, because it's just I want an empty space, a blank canvas. So I think this is the H430, and I'm just gonna put it here as well. And let's start by shopping of some computer parts. If I know what the button is for that. Okay, give me a second. And yeah, we're back, and I just had to go up to this inventory thing. So okay, first off, we're gonna start with the core unit of our computer case, which is the case. So I'm gonna go with the very simple method of going, hopefully my face isn't blocking this, but size, no, not size, price, minimum to, let's say, $100, and see what cases we can conjure up. There's plenty of really horrible cases here, but okay, there's NZXTs. They're not well known for being cheap cases, and I don't want anything that has like tempered glass or plexiglass or anything like that, because that makes it a lot more expensive. So yeah, anything with like Corsair or NZXT, be quiet. They do make some cheap cases, but most of them are really expensive cases. And yeah, let's go with something. I mean, if you're gonna build the cheapest computer ever, you're just gonna put like a Celeron and like a GT 710 or something inside there, and call it a day. And honestly, we don't need that much space for that. So this is a micro ATX. I'm looking at these four right now, and these have color on them, so we know it's gonna cost more than this black one here. So I'm just gonna use this. Plop it right there. And how much more basic can a case get? Like, look at it. How much more basic can a case get? But this thing comes with one exhaust fan, which is kind of nice. I mean, it's pretty much an industry standard at this point. But front airflow is pretty much close to non-existent. Just little vents over here. Okay. Start by removing the panels first. So we have. So we can tear apart everything here. How much does this case cost? $33. Okay, I think we can't go any lower than that. And yeah, as you can see, this is where our PSU goes. This is where our hard drives go. This is for a motherboard, and this is for an optical drive. So remove the front panel, remove the side panel. And yeah, this is pretty much as far as we're gonna go. Bare bones thing. Okay, what else is next? Okay, let's start with a motherboard first. Okay, same thing. Price minimum to 100. What do we get? The Mortoni H170 MTech. Okay, I know for a fact that this is the cheapest one out there, but it's not micro ATX because. If I'm not wrong, this case only supports micro ATX. Silverstone PS14. Okay, let me just check here. Cases. PS14. Okay, yeah, it only supports micro ATX. So need a micro ATX motherboard. Okay, where is this again? Form factor SATX. Okay, I did see just now that the XATX motherboard can actually fit, so install that. And then we just need to find a Celeron that's compatible with this motherboard right now, so that shouldn't be a problem because it's a H170. There's definitely Celerons for this. So yep, and I think they pretty much nailed the LGA socket. I mean, it's a bit blurry, but the level of detail and fineness in pretty much everything seems pretty real to life, like the MOSFETs and the chipset and everything. Okay, install. Okay, first we gotta take out the CPU. Okay, I completely forgot how to build a computer. Okay, open CPU shield. Right. I just had to click on it. So yeah, that removes the CPU shield, and then we just plop the CPU in, which will be okay. H170 LGA 1151. So it's a Skylake processor. So processor LGA 1151, and this is my old processor actually before I upgraded to this Ryzen 9. I used the 7700K. Good little processor, but only has 4 cores, so really not that future proof, to be honest. And let's see, Celeron. Okay, let's sort by Intel Celeron, right? Okay, which is the worst one out of all these? Okay, so there's a 3000 MHz one, 2 cores. There's a 2900 MHz one with 2 cores, and there's a 2800 one with 2 cores. So obviously we're gonna go with this one. So install CPU. There we are. Close the CPU shield, and we'll apply thermal paste later. For now, we just leave the CPU in there so I don't forget to put thermal paste. Okay, what's next? CPU cooling. Okay, now this is the part where in the intro I did mention that we can't just slap like this passive cooler into it, because number one, the front airflow is non-existent, and number two, this is a passive cooler. You need a lot of fans blowing at it to actually cool the CPU on a passive cooler. So I mean, in real life, you could probably make do with a passive cooler on a Celeron, but in this game, it doesn't really like it. Like, all these, yeah, not gonna happen. Okay, now this is the cooler that we want. So let's... Oh, I didn't want to put that down, but... it's not about vanity, it's the cheapest build ever, so... I just put that down, cabling... I'll connect an ugly cable all the way to here. Okay, what's next? RAM, okay. RAM, yes, as per usual, we just want the cheapest. So, green PCB is fine. Lower speed, lowest amount of RAM, so... again, price, I just want to make sure we get the cheapest one. Okay, so our contender here is 4 gigs of DDR4 for the 2133 megahertz, which is very slow. So yeah, all these oh, that's actually cheaper here. AData is still a good brand for RAM, so let's not go with that. Let's go for something like unbranded, like the Mortoni SIRPRICE. Okay, 2 gigabytes of RAM. Okay, yeah, that's barely gonna run, but okay, let's try it with this. Let's see if we blue screen over there. And what's the wrong slot to put your RAM in? You know, I'm just gonna go with this, the ugliest one, the third one. Okay, now there we go, we have 2 gigs of RAM. Okay, okay, now this is really getting really stupid now. So next will be graphics card, and we could slap a 3090 in there. Like, what do you guys think? We could slap a 3090 in there, but yeah, no. We're going for the cheapest build, so okay, do they have the GT210? Okay, they don't have the GT210. How about the GT710? No, they don't even have the GT710. Okay, how about the GT1030? Okay, they have the GT1030. Okay, is there anything cheaper than the GT1030? There's a 750 Ti, but that's a lot more powerful than the 1030. I can guarantee you that much. So yeah, which one do we want then? This from the 1030. Do we want the OC version or do we want the? But hey, the call frequencies are the same, so I don't know what the OC version stands for. Let's go with this one because I think it's a lot cheaper than the Gigabyte one. The Gigabyte one at least has some cooling on it. This one barely has any, so yeah, let's go with that. But first we gotta move off the PCI covers, and which slot corresponds, I think, will be this one, and plop it in there. Very nice. And let's install back the... Okay, before we do that, let's just leave the case open first. Next we have... Obviously we need some storage, so is there a 120 gig or 60 gig as okay, let me search for 60 gig. Okay, it's an SSD. We don't want an SSD. SSDs equal expensive. I know this isn't 2004 anymore, but no, that's not gonna work. Okay, so we have a 120 gig here. That's our contender, so yeah, we're just gonna go with that. Hard drives don't really make a difference. And install HDD here, close the drive bay, and we just connect SATA wiring to there. Okay, what else are we lacking? Oh yeah, power supplies. Definitely we need a power supply to power everything up. Obviously we could just pull off like very low wattage power supply. I think a max of 300 watts would do. But 250 watts, we could risk it and go with 250 watts. Okay, how much power does the CPU draw? Okay, so this is our Celeron right here, 2800, so it draws 51 watts, and the GT 1030 would be 30 watts, so yeah, we could definitely pull off 250 watts. So power supply 250, yep. I'll take your entire stock and screw it in. Wrong way to screw it in, but hey, it works. Okay, so now we just install all the necessary okay, no cables, the cable options here. Connect the power supply from the hard drive. and then connect it to one of the SATA ports on the motherboard and choose that one. Connect the motherboard 24 pin to the PSU, and then the 8 pin EPS power to the PSU as well. Oh yeah, and the case fan definitely to that. And the reason why I'm not taking out the case fan is because if you take out the case fan, this thing will have no ventilation and then the CPU will just overheat. So that's a thing you need to watch out for. And by the way, this really disgusting cable management. I mean, look at it. The fan, they drew it up all the way up here. They didn't even bother to make it nice. And then goes in through this little hole over here. And then it exits through here for some strange reason. And then makes an entire mess loop around all the way down back here. I mean, I would have just gone this way and then zip tied everything here, but hey, it's a game, I can't control it, so that's that. Okay, connect the motherboard and the HDMI port, power supply brick, and the, what's this? Is this a thumb drive? Oh no, I think that's just the keyboard. Okay. Right, so we need software and the USB drive with OS and program installation will do. And let's put the parts all back together because I just want to. This is just an ugly piece of crap. So PSU shroud, just to hide away the ugly power supply. I mean, it's not ugly, it's just plain black and I just don't like it. And put these all back. And we have a basic PC, guys, so you can't get any more basic than this. And this thing has a scratch on it. I think it's just the cables and stuff here. So, okay, let's power it on. Yeah, man, it's turning on. So we can guarantee that it's working. Okay, so as you can see, the Omega system or the OS is actually installing in here. So let's wait for that to install. And while that installs, actually, it's ready. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, that was fucking loud. Okay. Okay, add remove programs. Okay, I want everything on here. So, system info. It's taking a long time to install. Okay, that's thanks to the hard drive. Restart now. No, I want to install the rest first. 3D Mark. And then we'll see whether it blue screens. If it does, that means cooling isn't enough or we need to upgrade CPU cooler. Lighting, definitely we don't need. OCCT, I want OCCT. It's a very good CPU bench marking software. Okay, year rape session over. Okay, let's go with system info, see what we're running with. So yes, Celeron, 2 gigs of RAM, 120 gig as a hard drive, and a 1030. So yeah, possibly the worst system ever. Temps, how are we doing? Celeron, we're running at 28 degrees. I mean, that's to be expected of Celeron. GPU temperatures 31 degrees, also to be expected of a GT 1030 with a fan. Power consumption at idle 50 watts. Okay, when we ramp that up, that might be a problem, so we'll see. We already used 1 gig of RAM already. 2 gigs of RAM, we only left 1 gig of RAM, so let's ambitiously run 3D Mark here. And let's see how this runs. 2 FPS. Oh boy, 2 FPS. Yeah, so this is what a Celeron and a GT 1030 will get you. So yeah, I'll let this benchmark run and I'll just chill around here and do something else. So while that runs for the rest of our lives, I'll go eat. So be right back. Okay, and we're back and I didn't eat because that only took a little while. So time spy score 960, so if that isn't the lowest, I don't know what is. So CPU score 784, graphics score 1000. Oh boy, okay. 960 in time spy. So I don't know if that's the lowest. I don't know if you can go any lower than 960, but if you can, do let me know in the comment section below. Yeah, so that would be 3D Mark. Let's see how much RAM we're using. Still 1 gig. Okay, so times by 960. I'll just note that down. Minimize the screen here. Let's run Will It Run ambitiously. Okay, Adobe Photoshop. Obviously not. We can't even hit the minimum specs on any of these, man. Battlefield 1 definitely not. Flight Simulator, nope. You can't even run CSS, man. Yeah, we can't even run CSS. And I don't think these are worth looking at all. Okay, let's see Minecraft. Yeah, CPU still doesn't match. Okay. Also, I don't know what I expected there. Obviously, it's not gonna run anything. So, GPU tuner we can overclock, but what I'm gonna do is underclock it, just to make it worse. Slow things down even further, and then I'll run the time spy 3D Mark benchmark again, and we'll see how it runs. So here we go. I don't know why I just want to torture this little PC over here. I mean, it's making fan noises for some reason, and it's getting really... Oh. Okay, after that little whoopsie over there, let's check GPU tuner. Okay, it's still underclocked all the hell. System info, let's check. Yup, everything's still running fine. Okay, let's run 3D Mark again, and then I'll cut back when I found the score. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. There's only one fan in there. Oh, and the blue screen. Okay, what's the error message? Attempt to reset the display driver. Oh, okay. I think it was the underclock. Okay, I think what we learned is that we don't want to mess with the overclock, so I'm just gonna reset this to defaults, and I'm just gonna leave it as is. So just now our score was 960. So now we can just run OCCT, see whether this crashes. Automatic, and turn on. Okay. Testing. Okay, temps are soaring up to the roof for Celeron. 41 degrees. That's pretty toasty for a little Celeron. A 2-core CPU, mind you. I mean, my 5900X runs like at its coolest. It runs at about 50 degrees. So how is this gonna work? Finished. Is there any power draw? Maximum power draw 111. Okay, so we went with the 250 watt power supply, didn't we? And I wanted to go with the 300 watt power supply in the first place, but obviously that wasn't needed at all because we only drew this much power, as in I think. And yeah, so here we are. This is the cheapest possible PC that you can, well, not we can, I mean I can build in this game. If you can do a cheaper build, then please do let me know. I'll be very happy to see your suggestions and your builds. So how much did this cost? $337. So yes, this is the cheapest worst system that is stable that you can possibly build in this game, I think. So yeah, without further ado, I just think I'm gonna end the episode here. So if you want to see more PC building simulator videos, do let me know in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to try to push more of these videos out. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do leave a like and then comment and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out a lot. Leave a comment as well, so at least I know you guys are alive. And so yeah, without further ado, this is Noctra, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.